Welcome to 4 Days to Sexy Systems. We are getting started right now for day one. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I'm like super pumped. So if you're ready, we're just gonna like get this party started, get this show on the road, and like change your life basically.
Obviously.
Are you excited for that? Okay. So it's day one of 4 Days to Sexy Systems, and we have to start at the foundation. We have to build the foundation first. We have to clear the clutter. We have to organize the chaos before you can even like think about being more productive, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what we're doing today. We're getting those foundations laid out. We're working out the kinks. We're dusting off like big lofty goals and ideas that we might have had hidden in other drawers, and we're figuring it all out, and we're just being better after today. That's what it's all about. So the first thing we need to do
is gather your shit together.
all of it.
So I know when we say that, you're like,
But what?
But what do you mean? So literally, we want you to track down every scrap piece of paper, every notebook, every plan, every planner, every doc, everywhere you've
Every notes app.
Yeah. Everywhere you've planned out your systems to run your business and really figure out and nail down where they are. We're not saying you have to like scramble and go crazy, but literally just identify where they are currently held. And we're going to help you today create one central location to keep all of that information going forward.
If you find that you're the person who's like checking your planner for your calendar and then checking this other agenda for like brainstorming and then checking this notebook maybe when you listen to a webinar, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. We want you to gather all of those things, sometimes physically and sometimes just like in your head of like, where am I keeping all of that stuff? And like have it together, because part of the time that you're wasting is, where did I keep that thing? Going to find that thing and not really having it in conjunction with all of the other things that you need in your business, like your calendar, or like your planner, like all of those like brainstormy things, right? So we're all about bringing it together, because that more than anything is the thing that saves you the most time when it's in one spot.
I know.
Novel.
Crazy. So you're going to quickly figure out in this process today that some things just straight up are not working for you.
Cut it out.
So identify what those things are. What is it that you're using that either you're constantly scrambling because you can't really find the thing you're looking for, or it's just not being utilized to its fullest potential, and it ultimately isn't helping you grow your business.
I remember when we were trying to be productive, right?
Oh,
when
for sure.
we were new little boss babies. And we were using systems that we thought that were our only option, right? Or we thought that, well, everyone has a beautiful planner or an agenda or this app on their phone, and it works for all of these other people, or they say that it does. So why can't it work for us?
Right.
And so we were piecemealing all of these systems together, literally like a planner app on my phone and a physical planner that I would have to lug around everywhere and Post-it notes, and it just wasn't working. And I thought that that was my only way. But I want you to realize that today, officially, we're making it happen a lot better for you. And so some of those things we might have some emotional ties to, but I'm such a paper person and I love planners and they're beautiful. Keep them if you want to look at them, or if you want to use them in your personal life that's not as structured or doesn't need to be as structured as your business life. But ultimately, at the end of the day, your business deserves more than Post-it note. Your business is going to have more to plan than those little boxes ever really give you. And that's what we're unlocking today, because we care about the success and sustainability of your business, okay?
So figure out what those third-party systems you're using are. Are they things like electronic, in addition to all the paper stuff that you're using? Things like apps, things like
software,
Dropbox, things like docs, and where are all these things being located, and are they organized in any manner in those places, or are they scattered and disorganized? And how can you figure out where you can place them so that you can gather them? So for some of these electronic online systems, we are not saying ditch it.
No.
Like Google Docs and
Saves our
Dropbox
life.
has their place in our business 100%, but we are constantly scrambling to be like, where do we save that doc over
Mm-hmm.
here?
Mm-hmm.
Or where is it in our file system? And instead, we've been able to utilize a system called Trello to make it simple so that we can quickly get to a single item in a click of a button and be able to locate something that would otherwise we'd be wasting 10, 15 minutes every single time.
So we're not asking you to give up the things that are working really well in your business, especially those third-party softwares, right? Sometimes they have their place, like Abby said, but we're going to let you know how you can connect them to your one project management center inside Trello. So that's what we're going to show you right now. We're going to go hop over to screen share and show you how this magic happens. Are you ready?
Awesome. So now you're inside Trello. This will be what it looks like once you add your boards. If you are logging into Trello for the very first time, Trello is going to be completely blank. If you have purchased Trello for Business at some point and you've already loaded up your boards, you're good to go. If you're brand new and do not have access to those, I highly recommend you get started with Big Picture Strategy and My Week.
Yep. Those are the two boards that we're really going to focus on this week, because we find that when we're revitalizing our systems and trying to get our shit together and trying to be organized, that it can be really overwhelming to want to perfect all the pieces of our business. But we really find that Big Picture Strategy and My Week are the places that we live every single day in our business. And there are other boards that serve their purpose, but we maybe don't touch on them all the time. So these are the two that I think if you just really focus on these two, even if you already have Trello for Business and you've kind of let these get into a hot mess, or you feel like you're not utilizing them to their fullest advantage, this is going to be perfect for you, because we're going to show you some new ways that you can kind of tackle these boards to work really well for you. So let's start in Big Picture Strategy. And first, I want to give you the overview on how you can actually copy your own board. So if you're inside Trello for Business, there's a link to Big Picture Strategy for you to copy it. If you don't have it, that's okay. You can go ahead and make it, and you can make it look exactly like this. We're going to show you exactly how you can create lists and cards and all of that stuff. But let's just pretend you're going to, make the easy route and go for Trello for Business. You're going to head over to your menu over here that's on the right-hand side, and you're going to want to click Copy Board after you click the link inside that lesson. Once you click this, I would recommend you just keep it named Big Picture Strategy, because that's going to be most efficient for what we're doing right now. And you're just going to want to make sure that this Keep Cards is checked, because what that enables for you is all of the hard work that we've put into organizing and perfecting Big Picture Strategy, all of that's going to get copied over for you, so you don't really have to lift a finger or make it any different.
So once you hit copy, it's going to create your own version of this exact same board inside your own Trello app. So you're going to have access to all of these cards. Now, if you're making your own board, you can kind of copy what we have going on here today. But we're going to walk you through just some basic how to use Trello tips.
Yeah, so just some quick glossary wordage rundown. You're looking at a board. This is an entire board right here. We have a custom background for it that you have access to. You can change that if you want to. These are called lists. The grayed out areas that hold all of this information is a list. The white little sections inside the list are called cards. All of this is drag and droppable, which is, I think, really crucial for how creative brains work, because you can just move things over across the entire board super easily, and you don't have to commit to, am I going to write this in pen or pencil? What if I need to change my mind? Do I need to highlight it? How can I pay attention to that and make it a focus? You can really decide how to do that whenever you want. If you realize you need additional list, you're going to scroll all the way to the end of your board right here where it says Add List. Give this list a name. Hit Enter, and you've got a new list. As soon as you add cards, you're going to see those pop up right below. You want to make sure you hit Enter when you're adding the new card, because if you don't, it's going to look grayed out and the action won't be complete. So let's go in and look at some cards and give you some ideas on how you can customize these. And this is the part where we're paying attention to all of those third-party apps that you're using, Google Docs, Dropbox, Drive, all of those things. This is how you can make it connect beautifully with Trello.
So inside a card, you're going to see different items that you have access to. You can add things like due dates, which we'll go over later this week. You can also add attachments, which allow you to connect things like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, so forth, whatever. Wherever you're keeping things, you can attach things directly from a link. So if it has a link anywhere on the internet, you can create a link directly to it. It can even be a web page.
Yep. You can also add images. So if you have screenshots that you're wanting to keep, my favorite way to do this is literally have it on my desktop and drag it over to the card, and it's going to add it for you. This is also the really cool way where you can communicate with other team members or people who might have access to the task or the goals that you're wanting to accomplish in your business. And we'll get into this further inside the challenge, so don't stress out. We really just wanted to give you an overview of how you can edit and customize a card and really fully take advantage of all the amazing features that every card has, which is the point that we're trying to make, that you can keep everything in one hub. You can add descriptions, you can add checklists, you can add different members, you can add labels. We're gonna go over all of this later, but there's really so many features inside a card that enable you to keep everything in one place. So what we want you to focus on right now is this list right here. It's called Boss Ideas. You might think of it as your brain dump, your dreamy list of all the things, right? So this is the space we want you to really focus on right now. When we asked you to get your shit together, right? We asked you to gather all of the places where you might have this information. This is where it's gonna live for right now. And don't worry, throughout this challenge, we're gonna let you know exactly what you can do with this information and really make it actionable and strategic for your business. But right now, I really just want you to focus on brain dumping, okay?
So bring everything that you have over as a boss idea, like every little piece of paper, every little scrap of notebook paper, whatever it is. I want you to create an individual card for each individual topic or idea so that you can keep track of it. You can always add notes in the comment section of that card. You can add a description to that card. You can even add things like checklist items if you already have ideas for a breakdown of the tasks that might be associated with that item. We also want you to take a minute, and if you've already created some amazing goals, we want you to add those into Q1 through Q4.
So this is the really cool way for you to have the command center of what you hope your business is going to be doing throughout the year. It's a great way to break everything down, and we're going to go over tomorrow exactly how we prioritize these things and plan them better. But right now, I just want you to kind of dump them here. If you kind of have an idea of what they might be, go ahead and place every single month's goal and different tasks if you have them, even if they've already been accomplished in your business. Sometimes it's really great at the end of a year, at the start of a year, to really look back at what you've been able to accomplish that year as a reminder for how far you've come. Another thing I want to show you before we hop back over and give you your homework for today is a thing called power-ups. So inside Trello for Business, and how we're going to show you how to use this project management system this week, we're teaching you how to use it on the free version. You can stay free for life. Currently, we still have the free version of Trello, so it's totally fine. Part of that free version is what it tells you that you can only have one power up enabled per board. And a power up is basically just like a fancy hypercharge feature. You can connect something really cool, you can enable something really cool, but you can only have one per board. Specifically for big picture strategy, we want you to enable the calendar. So if you copy over the board from Trello for Business, the calendar is already going to be enabled and you're going to be gravy. If you need to enable that, that's fine. It's super easy to do. But this is going to enable you, especially when we look at it tomorrow, for you to see an even different picture of your business. And this really helps how us creatives work, right? We want to see things as lists and we want to see things on the calendar. But for other boards, you might want to enable other power-ups for you to connect third-party systems that work for you and your business. So you can find that over here in the menu when you click power-ups. Since we already have one enabled, it gave us that number one right here. We already have calendar enabled. So if you have another board that you already have in your business, go ahead and scroll through this list of power-ups and see which ones might make sense for you to add. There are things like Dropbox, there's Evernote, there's Google Hangouts, there's a whole bunch of different things that might be super customizable for your business. But if you don't want to take a peek at these, that's totally fine. We really just want you to enable calendar power up for this board so you can make sure you're using it in the way that we're showing through this challenge. So, should we hop over to homework?
Yes, let's talk about it.
All right, let's give you guys some homework. Okay, so day 1, that was a lot. First of all, I just want you to take a deep breath. You've made it this far, right? You gathered your stuff, right? I want you to know that it kind of takes a lot for us to wrap our heads around, how am I using a system right now in my business? I know that it's broken, but I don't even know how I'm using it. So I really want you to take time this week and today to really check in with, what are the things that are your gut reaction when you need to jot a note down, when you need to plan, when you need to keep track of progress of something? How are you naturally doing that? We might not even really know right now, but I want you to start to pay attention to those things, because it's when we pay attention to them that we can identify them and we can make them better, right?
Absolutely. So the first thing you want to do, if you haven't already, is take a few minutes to copy over big picture strategy inside Trello for Business. If you don't have access to that, you can always go to trelloforbusiness.com and get a hold of that. Otherwise, you're always welcome to create your own version of that board.
Yep. So we showed you how to create a list and create a new board and customize that. So you can do all of that on your own if you just want to copy it from the screen share that we just gave you. But spoiler alert, it's going to be a lot easier if you just copy over the boards from Trello for Business.
So inside of big picture strategy, you want to take some time and really spend some moments getting that brain dump established. Take places where you have put information elsewhere and try to start creating one central location with all this information. It doesn't have to be like a perfectly organized,
no, don't even stress about making it organized
thing yet. Literally, if it's one list with a bunch of different cards and a bunch of different thoughts and ideas, we're going to help you over the next several days get it organized so that you can start tackling those tasks right away in your business.
You know, the things that are just constantly swimming in your head and make you not be able to focus on anything else, this is what we want you to be getting out, and this is where we want you to do it. Finally, we want you to share your progress in the group. If you've downloaded your workbook, there's a prompt built in for you to go ahead and share with where your thoughts are right now and where you're at, and sharing with us the third-party systems that you use and where you keep your stuff right now, so you can start to call out and recognize those things so we can help you with ideas if you come against roadblocks while you're trying to move over to a system like Trello, okay? So then we want you to join us for day 2. It's happening tomorrow. We're talking about prioritizing, planning, and making that money, honey.